He stole my magic. We're all gonna die here.
Welcome to Screen Explained TV. Today, we're breaking down episode 3 of Agatha All Along, a show that has captivated fans with its dark twists and mysterious lore. The episode kicks off with Agatha and her coven on the Witch's Road, and immediately it feels like we're stepping into something out of an ancient folktale. But with that MCU twist we all love, the road itself is a visual metaphor, representing the trials witches had to go through back in the day. Fire trials, water trials, tests of strength and endurance. All of these were real-life events during the witch hunts of the 16th and 17th centuries. And showrunner Jack Shire clearly wanted to bring that historical connection into this episode. What's interesting is how each of these trials seems to be framed like its own escape room. If you've ever done one of those, you know what I mean. There's a challenge, clues to solve, and a ticking clock. Here, the trials are laced with pop culture references to sisterhood and witchcraft. It's a clever way to mix historical authenticity with modern storytelling. It keeps you engaged while also making you think. One of the more intriguing aspects is the subtle dialogue between Agatha and her coven. At one point, Agatha is complimented with a cryptic "yes, suits you." It's the kind of line that makes you think twice. What exactly suits her? Power, control, darkness. This kind of layered writing is what makes Agatha such a compelling character. You never quite know what her true motivations are, and this episode does a great job of keeping that mystery alive. But let's circle back to the Mephisto mention, because we can't overlook its importance. For years, Marvel fans have been theorizing that Mephisto is the ultimate puppet master behind so many events in the MCU, especially in the mystical and supernatural corners of this universe. The fact that we finally hear his name suggests that Agatha's story is about to expand into something much larger, possibly even bridging connections to upcoming projects like Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness or the Midnight Suns. This isn't just a casual mention, it's a signal of bigger things to come. And it's not just Mephisto's name drop that's significant. As Agatha and her coven continue their trials, you'll notice subtle references to other mystical beings and forces in the Marvel universe. Keep an eye out for symbols, colors, and even the way the witches channel their power. It all seems to hint at a larger cosmic order at play. Could this be leading to a confrontation with Dormammu, or maybe an introduction to Clea? Marvel loves to see these kinds of things years in advance, and this episode is filled with those small, easily overlooked details. Now, let's talk about the visuals, because this episode truly shines in that department. The way the witches' powers are portrayed is both mesmerizing and haunting. Each trial Agatha faces becomes more visually intense, from the crackling fire to the freezing waters. There's this constant feeling that the stakes are getting higher, and the cinematography does an excellent job of reflecting that. You feel the weight of each challenge, like the characters are on the verge of something cataclysmic. One scene that really stands out is the fire trial. Agatha stands before a wall of flames, her face illuminated with a mix of fear and determination. It's a powerful moment, both visually and narratively, because it shows Agatha not just as a villain, but as someone who has endured hardship and loss. She's layered, complex, and that's what makes her so compelling to watch. But what about the Coven? They aren't just background characters here. Each member seems to have their own distinct role, almost like an ancient sisterhood of witches. There's a real sense of camaraderie, but also tension. Like at any moment, betrayal could be around the corner. It adds to the suspense and makes you wonder how loyal these witches really are to one another, especially with Mephisto potentially lurking in the shadows. As the episode progresses, you'll notice a recurring theme. Power comes at a price. Each trial Agatha faces doesn't just test her strength, but her willingness to sacrifice. Whether it's letting go of her past or embracing darker forms of magic, she's constantly making choices that push her further into morally grey territory. And that's what makes her story so captivating. It's not just about good versus evil, it's about the choices we make when we're pushed to the edge. By the time the episode concludes, we're left with more questions than answers. How deep does Mephisto's influence go? What's next for Agatha and her coven? And what other dark forces might be pulling the strings behind the scenes? One thing's for sure, this episode is a game changer for the MCU's mystical side. With Mephisto now in the picture, the door is wide open for a whole new level of supernatural storytelling. Whether it's in Agatha's show, Doctor Strange, or even Blade, we're likely going to see a lot more of these dark forces in the future. So, what do you think? Did you catch all the references and Easter eggs in this episode? How do you feel about Mephisto finally being mentioned in the MCU? And where do you think Agatha's story is headed next? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and let's keep this conversation going. Don't forget to hit that like button if you enjoyed the breakdown, and subscribe to Screen Explain TV for more deep dives into your favourite shows and movies. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.